Now then. It's been a week since my first cheeky little dip into YouTube and crafting in general. My first video was making my Gengar diorama. And that was a big old thing for me to do when I had no idea what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. This week, or last week, I thought once I'd finished my diorama, let's try and make something that I can finish within the week. Something where I can try a few more things that I've not tried before, maybe some things that I can experiment with. So I chose to do some bosses from one of my favourite games, TheBindingOfIsaac. So last time I tried flocking for the first, I tried flocking for the first time. I tried sculpting with polymer for the first time. I tried airbrushing for the first time, which was a nightmare. I tried bashing together a bit of terrain, sort of, for the first time. I tried editing for the first time. It's a year of firsts for me. This time around, I thought, let's try playing around with a few of the supplies that I have, but haven't used yet. And maybe a few things that I want to try, but haven't tried yet. These Binding of Isaac bosses were perfect for that. I tried to use slaver techniques, you know, the drool. I tried dry brushing. I tried sculpting on a slightly smaller scale. So these guys, I'll go through each one, go through the challenges and stuff, maybe some things that I've learned, maybe some things that I know I can improve on, and we'll go from there. Join me. So yeah, little Isaac, cheeky little boy, learnt some things. He looks a little bit worse for wear, but I think he looks really cute. I give him 4 out of 7 Art Susans. Yeah! So with Monstro was actually the first one that I made when I set out to make these guys, which is why when you compare him to the rest, he looks a little more, not realistic, but kind of a little more uncanny valley. See, when I first started out, I wasn't sure whether I was gonna make kind of bastardized, semi-realistic versions or just kind of stay pretty true to how they look. Monstro was kind of an amalgamation of the two. That's why he's kind of got the more gross wrinkles and like all the little head veins and stuff like that. Had to play around with Yoo-hoo glue or Oohoo glue for the drool, which I love. I'm obsessed with Oohoo glue now. Yeah, he was the first one. He's probably 3 out of 7 Art Susans. Yeah! While I love him and he's adorable, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of going with it, but you know, hey ho. The dark one. There's not really a whole lot to say about this boy. Whereas Monstro was kind of trying to figure out whether I was gonna do more realism or not. By the time I'd figured out what I wanted to do, I just kind of wanted to go by pretty much replicating the sprites for Isaac, which is why the dark one looks like he does. He's got one little mitten hand and then his other hand is in like the... Because in the game, his sprite, just before you fight him, he does have his little... and his other little mitten hand. He is all in black because he is. I didn't bother dry brushing him because he is literally just black. But I did add some UV resin to his eyes, which looks pretty cool. Totally forgot to do his terrain. These were gonna be little like brimstoney rocks. They're actually orchid chips. That's the one. I was so busy like focused on getting him done, I totally forgot. What would I have done different with this guy? Originally painted him with just a really crappy acrylic paint, which took forever because it wasn't highly saturated. Then I decided I got bored of putting layers on layers and layers and ended up going with my Vallejo, which is why he's a little patchy in some areas. I think it's almost like the Vallejo is like move, so it's shifting the crappier paint out of the way. But all in all, out of 7 art Susans, I give him a solid 5. Yeah! And I like his little cantilevered tail as well. 5 art Susans for you. Mwah. Where do we even begin with Gertie? Honestly, do you know what? When I first started playing Binding of Isaac, Gertie originally was the one that gave me the most issues. Piece of shit. So Gertie was a funny one. As far as actually making her, Gertie seems like a girl name to me. Let's assume that Gertie's a her. Basking and fermenting in the filth. A bit too relatable, is that? Gertie is a funny one because although she's hella detailed at the front, like you don't know what she looks like behind. With Monstra and with the Dark One and Isaac, fair enough you can see Isaac's back, but he's just simple. The Dark One is all black. Monstra's just a nutsack. Gertie, she's covered in loads of stuff. So I had to not only try and craft all the little bits and snips, but I also had to imagine her back, which is why I added loads of these, like intestines and stuff on the back. The crafting process was hella cathartic, it was wonderful, but then it was the whole paint side. So originally I did her intestines in like a pink, but then I thought it might be pretty cool to do a follow-on from her gut, like as if it was kind of snaking through to the back of her. The other thing that I tried with her, which again I've never done before, this is a whole thing of firsts for me, is dry brushing and washes. Like I'd never made a wash before. People say it should be the consistency of skimmed milk. What the hell does that mean? Skimmed milk is basically just water that's looked at a picture of milk and gone, yeah, I reckon I could do that. So it was too runny, but then it wasn't runny enough. And then I wasn't sure how long to wait until you wipe it all off. There's so many different answers to the same question. In the end, I just kind of winged it. It actually worked out okay. She's kind of got like definition between her guts. And then next was dry brushing, which I am very much a novice at. Do you know what? Props to you, king or queen. If you can dry brush, y'all make it look so easy. It's not at all. But you know, God loves a trier, so off I went, got me dry brush, and it was Citadel as well. It even says dry on the side of it. I was hoping it'd do all the work for me. We know that that's not the case. I sucked at dry brushing. I didn't, well, you know what, no, I give myself props for trying it and I will continue to work on it, but it's hard. So like, the camera what really felt like I tried to do the highlights on her guts and over like the bigger pustules on her body. The ones for her stomach didn't really show. These ones did though, but they were too harsh, so I must have loaded my brush up a little too much. And the ones on her back just didn't show at all. There were a whole lot of trial and error involved in that. She was probably the one that I experimented with techniques the most on, but plus side, I got to play with my glue for all the crap that's leaking out of her. I give myself 5.5 to 5.8 art Susans for that. Yeah! Because although she didn't quite pull off what I wanted her to pull off, it was an attempt and I don't think she looks too bad. And I also give myself props and a tiny pat on the back for fudging up what I imagine her ass looks like. So last but certainly not least is the favourite squishy boy, Duke of Flies. He was the last one that I did. I think if I remember the order correctly, it went Monstra, Isaac, Gertie, Dark One, and then Duke. Duke was pretty, I mean, he's just basically a fleshy balloon, really, isn't he, that's stuffed with flies. The hardest thing for me with him was getting his skin tone right. Do you know what? I actually don't think I did too bad. I think I used 2 different Vallejo colours. I used one called Deck Tan, and then the other I think was just light skin tone, and it kind of made it a weird, like, corpsey purple bloaty colour that Duke is. So pretty buzzed about that. Again, I tried a wash with him. It kind of picks up around his, like, warts that he's got and in the cracks of his face. Washes are just something that I'm gonna have to try and get used to. Other thing as well, Duke has almost like a post-mortem Y-shaped scar running down his chest. I originally tried to recreate that with bacon bond because it's kind of stiff and goopy, but when I baked it, it just kind of spread out. You can actually kind of see where it spread, and I had to just paint it instead. His flies, I didn't want to overwhelm him with flies, but I still wanted to give him flies. They're literally just what they are, the balls of clay, and then I cut out little wings of paper. Nearly killed myself trying to stick them to each fly, trying to do that without having a nervous breakdown. But I think he came out pretty cool. I tried to do dry brushing on his lips and his head, like a top-down light. Didn't quite work. I'm still trying to figure out with dry brushing how much is too much paint, how little is too little paint, the best sort of to get it right, but I'll get there. I'll give him a 7 Susans, Art Susans, for recreating his weird skin tone, but as an overall, I shall give him 4.5 Art Susans out of 7. Yeah! Don't ask me why it's out of 7. So there we are. I really want to try and push myself to do 1 post every Friday. It'll keep me motivated. That being said, my day job is a tattoo artist and it's super busy in the summer months. So I'm hoping I can still juggle that. As for what I want to do next, I'm going to do a bigger one, something that's a little more detailed, something that I can put more work into. I reckon if you are fans of Warhammer, you should enjoy it, especially if you like boobs, because it's to do with Slaanesh.